Hello, everyone. I want to tell you how blessed I feel to be here with you. There's such love at the Parliament and in this room right now. So, on Easter Sunday in 1998, a white Jewish high school girl, my younger self, sat in the pews of Emmanuel AME, a church in Charleston, South Carolina, that's been part of the fabric of the community since the era of slavery. I sat there as a part of a group called Operation Understanding, which was made up of 6 African American and 6 Jewish teens working to understand each other and working to build a generation of leaders which would not accept discrimination in any form. In that process of over a year, we met with one another weekly, and we had discussions where we came to know our differences and learn to understand our own implicit bias, because each of us does have implicit bias and our own assumptions, and we bettered ourselves through knowing each other and getting to know each other. But we also discovered our commonalities, the more important part, which, of course, all of us have so many commonalities. And on that Easter Sunday, as we sat in the church and sang a hymn, the song rose in the air and up into the high ceilings, and suddenly all of the difference melted away, and all that there was the unity of prayer and of song, and we sat together in there, and that's what we felt, togetherness. Now, unfortunately, in this day, there's a different sound in Emmanuel AME. There's still, with the hymns, there's the sound of tears, since the very tragic shooting when one person full of extreme hate killed 9 innocent people who were in their Bible study and who had welcomed him into their Bible study with open arms. But what we must remember is that just as one person has the potential to bring so much hatred, each of us has that much potential and more to bring so much love into this world. Growing up as a Jewish girl in Charleston, South Carolina, I was a minority. However, I thrived in that otherness, and my parents, who were community leaders and who were equally involved in both the Jewish community and the community at large, taught my 2 brothers and me the concept of tzedakah. Tzedakah is a Hebrew word which people traditionally translate to mean charity, but actually the root word in tzedakah is tzedek, which means justice. So my parents taught us that tzedakah, that doing good in the community, was not something like charity that implies something good you do to get a pat on the back, but rather it was the only path towards justice. It was a must. It wasn't a choice. We all had to contribute to our community to bring justice. My parents also taught us that we had to look outside of ourselves, that we couldn't expect with each of our limited perspectives that we should know exactly what to do in this world. Instead, we must understand that people of different backgrounds, of different cultures, of people with different expertise could help us in the process of doing good in this world, so that our good could be multiplied through bringing together our various perspectives. There's a story in the Torah of when Yitro, the father-in-law of Moses, joins the Jewish people in the desert. Yitro was not Jewish. He was a priest of Midian. However, when Yitro came to meet the Jewish people, he said to Moses, "Moses, what you're doing here is no good. You're trying to take the judgment of your people only upon yourself. It's too much of a burden for one person. You can't do that to yourself. You need to create a system. You need to have a system of scholars, of people who are above prophet, to help you in that process." And though his father-in-law was from a different background, he humbly heard out his advice, and not only heard out his advice, but took it. Because we have to know that we can't always see everything so clearly from where we stand. We need to have others as a part of that greater picture. I was very blessed when I was able to get a job that really brought together the lessons that I had learned in the traditions of my faith and in the experience of my life, and to bring that into every day. I work for an amazing organization called Nexus Youth Summit. We have over 2,500 members from 70 countries, well, over 70 countries, and we bring together millennial social change makers and millennial wealth holders, and we bridge those worlds to try to create a shift in global consciousness towards a culture that celebrates diversity. We have summits where we create dialogue, where we educate people and really encourage their conversations so that they might collaborate to accelerate solutions to global problems. Because when we work together, when we understand that sharing our ideas gets us further, it brings us all so much more. So I just want to tell all of you that I hope that you understand that in this process of doing good in the world, we can fully embrace our own faiths. We don't have to look away from that. We can also look outward at other people and see the love and the good in their faiths. We can come together and share ideas, and in doing that, we all have the potential to do so much more in this world. So please, embrace yourself, embrace each other. If you want to turn to your neighbor and give them a hug, then do, and know that we all have the potential in sharing with each other and in celebrating the bounty of diversity to do so much more good in this world.